Welcome to Cash Talk Podcast.
Hey, welcome back to Cash Talk Podcast. I'm Ali.
And I'm Sara. And if you're new here, hey, welcome to the family. This is the place where we learn English and build real money knowledge at the same time.
That's right, two things most schools never taught you, together in one place.
Which is honestly a little sad when you think about it.
Very sad, but that's why we're here. Okay, Sara, today we're starting something big.
Something really big.
We're diving into one of the most famous books ever written about wealth and success, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Published in 1937, and people are still reading it today.
Almost 100 years later.
That's not a bestseller, that's a classic.
That is a legacy. And here's the thing, this book is not just about money. It's about how your mind works, how your thoughts either build your bank account or quietly destroy it.
And today we're covering the very first layer, Chapter 1 and the introduction, which sounds simple, but trust me,
It is not simple.
it will mess with your head a little.
In a good way, so stay with us because by the end of this episode, you're going to look at the word desire in a completely different way.
And we'll also make sure your English gets a real workout today, not just vocabulary, real phrases, real usage, the kind native speakers actually use.
Let's get into it.
Okay, before we jump into the book, let's talk about the key English terms you're going to hear throughout this episode. Because this book uses very specific language. And if you don't know these words deeply, you'll miss the whole point.
So we're not just giving you definitions, we're giving you the feeling of each word, because that's how you actually remember them.
First word, desire.
Now, don't think of desire like, I want pizza right now.
Although that is a valid desire.
It is, but in Napoleon Hill's world, desire means a burning, obsessive, non-negotiable want, something you think about when you wake up, something you think about before you sleep.
He literally uses the word burning over and over in this chapter, a burning desire.
So in a sentence, you'd hear a native speaker say, she has a burning desire to build her own business. Not just she wants to, she has a burning desire.
Feel the difference?
Huge difference. Okay, second term, definiteness of purpose.
This one sounds formal, and it is, but the meaning is powerful. Definiteness of purpose means knowing exactly what you want. Not, I want to be rich someday, but I want $2 million by the time I'm 40, and here's my plan.
Specific, clear, locked in. In conversation, a native speaker might say, the most successful people operate with definiteness of purpose. Or, he lacks definiteness of purpose. That's why he keeps spinning his wheels.
Spinning your wheels, great idiom. It means working hard but going nowhere, like a car stuck in mud, which is most of us on a Monday morning.
Honestly. Okay, third term, transmutation.
Ooh, this one sounds like a science word.
It does. And in chemistry, transmutation means changing one element into another. Napoleon Hill borrows this idea and applies it to energy.
He says you can take any strong emotion or energy and transmute it, convert it, channel it into something productive.
So instead of letting anxiety eat you alive, you transmute that energy into focused action.
In a sentence, Hill believed that sexual energy, when transmuted, becomes one of the most powerful forces for creative achievement. Which sounds wild, but we'll get into that more in later episodes. We'll save that conversation.
Yes. Fourth term, the subconscious mind.
The subconscious mind. This is the part of your brain that runs in the background, like apps running on your phone that you didn't open.
It's processing information, storing beliefs, and making decisions all without you being consciously aware of it.
And Hill's entire book is basically about how to reprogram that background system.
In natural English, you'd say, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. That's a key idea. Hold on to it.
And the last term for today, riches. Now, this sounds obvious, but Hill defines riches very broadly.
He doesn't just mean money. He means financial wealth, yes, but also peace of mind, loving relationships, good health, and a sense of purpose.
So when he says grow rich, he means grow in every direction that matters.
Which changes the whole title of the book, honestly.
Completely reframes it. Okay, those are your 5 power terms for today. Desire, definiteness of purpose, transmutation, the subconscious mind, and riches. Keep them in your ear as we go.
Okay, Ollie, let's talk about the book. Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich after spending 20 years studying over 500 of the most successful people in America.
500 people. 20 years.
Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. These were his sources.
And Andrew Carnegie, the billionaire industrialist, he's actually the one who commissioned this project. He told Napoleon Hill, go figure out why some people get rich and most people don't, and write it down.
And Hill did, and the result was this book.
Now, the introduction opens with something that Hill calls the secret, and he never directly tells you what it is.
He literally never says it out loud.
Not once. He says, the secret appears somewhere in every chapter, and when you're ready, you'll recognize it.
Which is either very wise
Or extremely frustrating.
both, actually. But here's the thing. That technique is intentional. He wants your mind to be active while reading, not passive.
Because passive reading doesn't change anything. You read, you nod, you forget.
But when you're hunting for something, your brain locks in.
That's actually a really sophisticated learning technique, even by today's standards.
Absolutely. Okay, so Chapter 1, Desire. Hill opens with the story of Edwin Barnes.
Who is Edwin Barnes?
Nobody. Literally nobody. He was a broke, unknown young man who had one burning desire to become a business partner of Thomas Edison. Not an employee, a partner.
And he showed up at Edison's lab in New Jersey with basically no money, no connections, and no relevant experience.
That takes either incredible confidence or zero self-awareness.
Possibly both. But here's the thing. Edison looked at him and saw something. He didn't give him the partnership right away, but he gave him a small job.
And Barnes waited for 5 years.
5 years of working a small role, watching, learning, holding on to that desire.
And then one day, Edison invented a new dictating machine called the Ediphone, and his sales team didn't believe in it. They thought it wouldn't sell.
But Barnes saw the opportunity. He went to Edison and said, let me sell this.
And he did, enormously successfully, and Edison made him his exclusive sales partner.
From nobody to partner of Thomas Edison because of one burning desire he never let go of.
And Hill uses this story to make a very specific point. Barnes didn't wish to work with Edison. He didn't hope to. He made it an obsession, a definiteness of purpose.
And that distinction between wishing and deciding is where most people lose the game.
Say that again, Ollie.
The distinction between wishing and deciding is where most people lose the game.
That hit different.
Right? Because wishing is passive. Deciding is a commitment. And Hill says the moment you truly decide, your subconscious mind starts working on the problem even when you're asleep.
Which brings us to something I want to push back on a little, because some people read this book and think, okay, I just have to want it badly enough and money will appear.
The law of attraction version.
Exactly, and that's a misreading.
Completely. Hill is not saying desire alone is enough. He's saying desire is the starting point, the fuel. But you still need a plan. You still need specialized knowledge. You still need action.
Those are coming in later episodes, and trust me, the planning chapter alone is worth the whole series. But for right now, Chapter 1 is specifically making this point. Most people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because their desire isn't strong enough to survive the first obstacle.
First rejection, the first failure, the first moment someone says, that's a crazy idea.
And they fold because their desire was more of a preference than a commitment.
Hill talks about this with the concept of a state of mind. He says riches begin with a state of mind, not a strategy, not a degree, a state of mind.
And you can't fake that state of mind. You have to build it intentionally.
Which is why the book is called Think and Grow Rich. The thinking comes first.
Not work harder and grow rich. Not get lucky and grow rich.
Think and grow rich.
It really is a different framework when you sit with it.
It is. Okay, I want to bring up one more story from this chapter because I think it's the most emotional one, and it connects to something a lot of our listeners might relate to.
Darby in the gold mine.
Yes, R.U. Darby. His uncle caught gold fever during the gold rush era. They went out west, staked a claim, and started drilling.
And they found gold, an actual vein of gold.
They went back home to Maryland, told everyone, raised money, bought equipment, came back to keep drilling.
And then the gold disappeared.
Gone. They kept drilling and found nothing.
They eventually gave up, sold their equipment to a junk dealer for a few $100s.
And here's the gut punch. That junk dealer hired a mining engineer. The engineer looked at the site and said, the vein of gold didn't disappear. It shifted. It's 3 feet from where they stopped drilling.
3 feet.
3 feet away from a fortune, and they quit.
That is painful to hear.
Every single time. And Hill uses this story to make one of the most important points in the book. Most people quit right before the breakthrough.
3 feet from gold.
And Darby learned from it. He went on to become one of the most successful life insurance salesmen in America because every time a prospect said no, he heard 3 feet from gold. Keep going.
He transmuted the pain of that loss into fuel.
Exactly. The same energy, different direction.
Okay, I want to ask you something, Sarah, and I want our listeners to think about this too. Have you ever quit something and later found out you were 3 feet from gold?
Yes. Actually, yes. I stopped learning something, I won't say what, right before it started clicking, and someone else picked it up, kept going, and now they're doing incredibly well with it.
That silence says everything.
It does. What about you?
Honestly, yes. There was a project I walked away from because it wasn't moving fast enough. And about 4 months later, I watched someone else launch almost the same idea successfully.
4 months?
3 feet from gold. Different shape, same story.
So here's our question for you, our listeners. Think about it seriously. Is there something in your life right now where you might be 3 feet from gold? A skill, a business idea, a financial habit you started and dropped?
Drop that in the comments. We want to hear it.
Okay, before we wrap up today, we need to open a loop because episode 2 is where things get really interesting.
We're going into faith, and I don't mean the religious kind, although there's overlap.
Hill defines faith as a very specific mental state that you can actually induce on purpose. You can manufacture belief.
And he gives very specific instructions on how to do it.
Which sounds almost too good to be true until you understand the neuroscience behind it.
And in episode 2, we're also getting into auto-suggestion, which is basically the original version of what people today call affirmations, but way more structured, way more intentional.
And honestly, more effective.
So if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now, because episode 2 builds directly on everything we talked about today. These episodes are connected. You miss one, you lose the thread.
And the thread is worth following.
All right, let's bring it home. Today's key terms one more time in real sentences.
Burning desire. He didn't just want to be wealthy. He had a burning desire that kept him up at night.
Definiteness of purpose. The difference between a dream and a goal is definiteness of purpose.
Transmutation. Instead of letting fear paralyze her, she transmuted it into the energy to prepare harder.
Subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is always listening to your words, your beliefs, your self-talk.
Riches. He said true riches aren't just financial. They include peace, health, and meaningful work.
Now, here's your practice sentence frame for this episode. Try completing this out loud or in the comments.
I have a burning desire to blank, and I refuse to quit because blank.
Simple, honest, and actually a little powerful when you say it out loud.
Try it.
That's episode 1 of our Think and Grow Rich series. We're just getting started.
Next week, faith, auto-suggestion, and why what you say to yourself every morning might be the most important financial decision you make.
If this episode added value, share it with one person. Just one. That's how this grows.
Take care of your English.
Take care of your money.
And we'll see you in episode 2. Take care, everyone.
Peace.